I'm Ryan Ziegler with Lazy Acres Family Farm. It's turned off a little chilly. Was in the low 30s this morning. It's in the 40-degree range right now, and so got our cool weather clothes on. But we get asked a lot of questions about agriculture in general, and so we were at dinner with some friends the other night that also farm, and the question and the comment around the table was, you know, agriculture, how do we convey what we do on a day-to-day basis to people that don't? And so agriculture is a very complex topic, and there's a lot of moving parts. So we're going to start a series here on our YouTube channel about how we do the things that we do. And so recently we've been asked many times, so what do you feed your cows? And that is a great question, okay? Because depending on which cows you're talking about, that answer changes. So behind me back here, Dylan can kind of swing around. We've got a bunch of different cows. We've got some calves, which are the newborn cows that are still nursing their moms. We got the mama cows. And then we also have some steers out here, okay? Steers are born bull calves, and we castrate them. They are for the purpose of meat that will be sold directly to customers out of our farm store. So let's talk about steers first. First off, on the Lazy Acres Family Farm, we never pull our cows off of grass. They stay on grass 365 days a year. Now, in the summertime, that's really easy. In the early fall, it's not too challenging, but in the wintertime here in Florida, once we get past our first couple of hard frosts, we don't really have grass in the pasture. So we supplement with hay, and you can see kind of behind me back here, we've got a couple of piles of hay. And so we'll take a round bale of hay and we'll either roll it out or we'll leave it in one place and let the cows kind of scatter it out, and then we'll pitchfork it into the bucket of the tractor and we'll make 3 or 4 piles of hay. We do that to distribute their manure. We don't want them eating in the same place and destroying the ground. We got 2 inches of rain the other night, and if you put 2 inches of rain on the ground and a bunch of cows on that hay, it turns into a mud pile. And so our goal is to spread all that out. You'll also notice in the background here, just kind of a side note, well, I don't see them right now, but there's a big old group of chickens in those little trees over there. I don't know if you can see them on the camera or not, but there's 8 or 10 chickens over there. They stay with these cows, okay? And so they'll go through and they'll scratch through the manure, and they work through what the cows leave on the ground, and it ends up making for very healthy pasture. But back to steers. We never pull them off the grass. In the wintertime, that means that we supplement with hay because we just don't have grass available, all right? But we also feed our feed. We mill this feed. This is a mixture of perennial peanut hay, and you can see the little perennial leaf right there that's been crunched up in the mixer grinder. Try to find another. There's some of those leaves. This is corn, and we typically add diatomaceous earth and some Sweet Licks powdered molasses, and it smells so good. This stuff, between the molasses and the perennial peanut hay, it smells like you could almost put chocolate milk on this and eat it like cereal. I mean, it is just super rich smelling, okay? The cows love this. Bubba came over here, Bubba Beef. Hey, he's not gonna pay attention to me now, but the cows love this. This helps add a lot of fat during the wintertime. It adds a ton of energy during the wintertime. And it really just helps finish out our steers. It gives them that nice finished look. You can see Sunrise is keenly aware of what I have in my hand right here. Hey, baby. And it won't take her but a second. And that's what you want. You want a gentle cow like that that'll just walk right up to you. Hey, baby. And so, anyway, you probably wouldn't want to shake hands with me now after that. But that's what we feed our steers. Now, all cows love it. Sunrise is still pregnant. We don't want her eating a whole bunch of this because just like a mama that's pregnant with a child, all of the extra that she eats goes to that baby. And so we don't want Sunrise to have an 80-pound calf, okay? We want Sunrise to have a 60-pound calf. And if she sits here and eats this kind of feed all day long every day, she'll have an 80 or 100-pound calf, and that'll be terrible for her. So that's why we don't feed our mamas a whole bunch of this type feed, okay? And so steers, yes, we want them to eat grass 365 days a year and some mixed feed. Once they're weaned from their mom, that means they're not nursing anymore, taking milk anymore, we want to add some grain feed to their diet, okay? The mamas, not so much. During the really hard part of the winter, which will be January and February for us, we will supplement the mamas with some grain feed like this. Again, it helps their energy level. It helps them just do better when it's really cold, okay? And so that's one of the reasons we do that. On the calves, depending on if it's a heifer is a female calf that hasn't gotten pregnant and had a calf. But on the calves, typically, as soon as they're weaned, if they're steers, they'll start eating the grain feed. The heifers just stay with their mamas on grass, okay? We don't necessarily want our heifers to grow into great big giant cows before they get pregnant. I don't think that's necessary. Some people do. You know, if you ask 10 farmers, 10 cattle people, you'd probably get 11 answers, okay? But it tells you a little bit about how we feed and what we feed. Now, grass in the summertime in our area of Northwest Florida is going to be Bahia grass, Bermuda grass, and crabgrass. There are some other grasses like limpo grass, things that are coming on that we haven't typically grown here, but those are the typical ones: Bahia, Bermuda, and crabgrass. Other types of forage that we feed in the summer, we'll plant some iron and clay cowpeas, we'll plant some brown top millet, some sorghum, Sudan, and those are things that we supplement with, okay? They're annual crops that we interseed into our perennial crop, into our Bahia, and they grow fine and the cows love it. In the wintertime, okay, if Dylan can pan up here and look up on the hill, you got two different fields there. You got one that was planted about a month ago, and you got one that was planted this past week. The one that was planted this past week is the brown one. The one that was a month ago is that bright, beautiful green color. That grass is about 4 inches tall, and we're going to start grazing it in the next 10 days or so. Okay, that's ryegrass, oats, vetch, clover, Uchi clover. There are also daikon radishes up there, and there's some beets. Each one of those things plays a role in soil building and habitat, eco building, if you will. But that's what's up there, and that's what we do in the wintertime for our grazing. I know that's a ton of information. We're going to do a bunch of these videos on all things agriculture here at the Lazy Acres Family Farm. I'm Ryan Ziegler. Thanks for staying tuned to our video. We'll see you soon.